Okay guys, welcome to the video. This is where we talk everything about boxing. Okay, so today we're going to discuss three different divisions. Okay, the middleweight division, the light heavyweights, and the heavyweights. Okay, we'll start off with the heavyweights. As you know, many people, the public, as you say, the general public, they lost interest in boxing for a while. In heavyweight boxing, due to they say the Klitschko brothers. While the Klitschko brothers were champions, boxing was boring. The heavyweight division was boring, and they were involved in boring fights. But when you're a boxer, your main aim is to win. Because if you win, you go to the next level. You go to bigger fights, earn more money, and that's what it's about, money. Okay. If you don't win, you don't go on to the next level. So Klitschko's, they won their way. Maybe it was a boring way, but it worked for them. Okay? Okay, so they were involved in boring fights. So the older brother, Vitaly Klitschko, he's retired last year. I think it was last year he retired. Okay, 2015. The younger brother, Vladimir, he lost his world title a few months ago to a guy from England called Tyson Fury. That's how they pronounce it. The guys from Manchester, Tyson Fury. Okay. So if I was called Froch, that's how I would pronounce it. Tyson Fury. Okay. So Tyson Fury, he came from nowhere. He upset the odds. He outboxed Klitschko. Klitschko said he had an off night, and many people believed he had an off night. There's actually a rematch coming up now. I think it's in July. Okay, so Klitschko said that he's going to win the rematch and he's going to beat Fury so hard, he's going to knock him out, and then after that he's going to unify all the belts. He's going to fight everyone in the American Deontay Wilder. So he's talking a big fight, Klitschko. Now we know that Klitschko is a serious athlete. He's a very talented athlete. The man is dedicated. Himself and his brother, they ruled the heavyweight division for years. But my personal opinion, Klitschko is 39. I think he's coming up to 40 years old now. He's had it. He's had a good career, but it's over now. He's come to the end of the road. Okay, Vladimir, you've come to the end of the road. You've had a good innings, my boy, but it's now time to hang up your gloves. Okay, let the youngsters come through. Tyson Fury. Okay, so how good is Tyson Fury? I don't know. He must be a half decent boxer if he can outbox Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko. Okay? So we're going to see in a rematch. I believe, and I know this for a fact, that when you're a champion, if you become any champion, but especially a world champion, you're only getting better from there on. The day you win the world title, that's when things start happening. You become better. You become a better boxer. You improve. You don't go backwards. You go forward. So I think we can expect a better show from Tyson Fury. We're gonna expect. I think if I was a betting man, I would say Tyson Fury by knockout or TKO between round 9 and 11 or round 10 and 12. I would say that, but definitely Tyson Fury for the win. And also he's fighting in Manchester, Tyson Fury's hometown. MEN Arena, 22,000 patriotic fans. It's going to be hard for Klitschko, So good luck. May the best man win. Okay. And the heavyweight division, there are other champions. There's a guy from London, England called Anthony Joshua. Very good, former Olympic gold medalist. Very strong puncher. He's talented. He's very talented, but I just think he's got to work on certain things. He's got a lot more to learn. Because Anthony Joshua won the world title a few weeks ago against some guy called Charles Martin. Charles Martin, he came from America to England. The first right hand Anthony Joshua landed, it was a right hand, went like that, boom. It wasn't even hot, it was like that, boom. Just like that, Charles Martin was out. First round. That's a disgrace. If you're world champion, how can you, what's going on with these people? Okay, so that's Anthony Joshua, very good boxer. Okay, then it's Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. Then you go back to America. There's a guy called Deontay Wilder, serious character, man. This guy is he's a beast. He's not scared of anybody. He doesn't just talk a good fight. You know, he does the business. You know, he's a knockout specialist, but he also proved in some of his fights he can box. He's a good boxer, you know. So he's called out Tyson Fury, you know. So who knows what's going to happen between those three, Joshua, Fury, and Wilder. And there's another guy, I actually trained with him. He's a guy by the name of David Hay. He was also a former world heavyweight champion. He's a former Olympic silver, he won a silver medal at the amateur Olympics, at the World Amateur Games, sorry. He won a silver medal at the Amateur World Championships, David Hay. Then he won a cruiserweight world title, and he won a heavyweight world title. He is the real deal, David Hay. He's very talented. Hits very hard, you know. I can see David Hay. I think I'd like to see him against the other champions, you know. Definitely David Hay. I expect big things from him. He's the real deal. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's the heavyweights for you. A lot of good fights coming up to look forward to. Okay, now we move back down to the light heavyweight division. I'm not going to talk about all the light heavyweights, but I'm going to talk about one particular fight. There's a guy who's a former super middleweight called Andre Ward. Brilliant boxer, very good scientific boxer, skillful. Yeah, he's got fast hands, good moves, good footwork. He's got it all. He's got everything. He's Mr. Boxing, Andre Ward, but at super middleweight against smaller guys. Now he's fighting at light heavyweight. He's fighting a guy from Russia called Sergey Kovalev. Now, if you don't know who Kovalev is, I think it was his last fight, he beat Bernard Hopkins, the legend. You know, Bernard Hopkins he was a great fighter. Yes, he was old. But Hopkins never looked old. In any of his fights, he never looked old. No other fighter could do to Hopkins what Kovalev did to Hopkins, if you know what I mean. Okay? So, this is a good fight for boxing. Two good light heavyweights coming up against each other. But I personally think that Andre Ward, good boxer, but he hasn't proved himself in the light heavyweight division yet. He hasn't proved himself, you know. He doesn't have the power that Kovalev has. Ward used to stop his opponents late on or whatever with an accumulation of punches, you know, boom, 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 boom. Whereas Kovalev does the same, but the difference is his punches are 10 times harder. You know, so I think Andre Ward is going to battle with that, but good luck. May the best man win. It's going to be a good fight to look forward to. And lastly, we go down to the middleweight division, okay, where we have currently if I'm not mistaken, three world champions. It's Billy Joe Saunders from London, England. It's a red-headed Mexican called Canelo Alvarez, who turned professional when he was 15 years old. He's been a professional now for 11 years. Okay, so great boxer. He was a former welterweight. Now he's a middleweight world champion. And then lastly, we got a guy from Kazakhstan, Triple G, as we know him. His real name is Gennady Golovkin. Okay, now you ask, Billy Joe Saunders, do you want to fight? Who do you want to fight? Do you want to fight Triple G? Yeah, no, definitely want to fight him. Yeah. You know, definitely make that fight, you know. But that's where it stays. All talk, you know. All talk. You fight, you talk to Alvarez, Canelo. Do you want to fight Triple G next, please? Can you fight him? I tell you what, man, you've got to sit down, get yourself ready. You might fall asleep as you listen to Canelo explain the situation. You're going to fall asleep, like I said, but he's got a long answer, a lot of excuses. Do you want to fight Canelo? Do you want to fight Triple G next? Right now, I'm not a middleweight. In 3 years' time, I'll be a middleweight. But you're holding a middleweight world championship. How does that work? Yeah, I know. I'm the middleweight world champion, but I'm not a middleweight. You know, how does that work? You know, In 3 years' time, I'll fight Triple G, but not now. I'm not a middleweight. I don't understand, guys. Like I said, boxing is corrupt. We know boxing is corrupt, okay? I've got some evidence that boxing is corrupt. If you're looking for those evidence, please hit me up. I'll show you. I'll prove to you boxing is corrupt. I've got the evidence with me. I've got written evidence. I've got contracts, forged contracts. I've got it all. Just let me know, guys. I'm not making false accusations. So that's the situation with Alvarez. He holds a version of the world title, the middleweight. He's a middleweight world champion. But to ask him if he wants to fight Triple G, he says, no, I'm not a middleweight. In 3 years' time, I'm a middleweight. I'll be a middleweight, but now I'm not a middleweight. You ask Triple G, do you want to fight Canelo? Triple G in his Kazakhstan, he's like, yes, that is a great fight for boxing. Very great fight for boxing. Yes, I would like to fight Canelo, please. You know, I would like to fight the winner of Canelo and Khan. Okay? Canelo is a warrior, man. He's a fighter. He wants to fight the best. You know? He's not scared of anybody. He believes that the best should fight the best, and that's how it should be. But boxing's changed a lot. It's about money nowadays. Now, instead of fighting a middleweight, Canelo Alvarez is now fighting a welterweight by the name of Amir Khan. Okay, Amir Khan is a welterweight. We know that he's a former Olympic silver medalist at lightweight. He lost against a Cuban by the name of Mario Kindelan. After the Olympic tournament, Frank Warren, because Frank can, you know, Frank is the man. He organized the tournament, a normal boxing tournament, amateur tournament. We can't box against Kindelan in a rematch, and he beat Kindelan. Fuck, you know, Frank can organize everything, you know. So anyway, so Khan beat him in a rematch, and Khan turned professional. He lost a couple of fights. He got dropped. You know, I think it's Bredis, what's his name? Bredis, you know, the guy who knocked him down. So Khan has been knocked down a few times. He's lost a few times, but he is a good boxer. Very skillful, very fast hands, good mover. You know, he's a nice kid, you know. But he's a welterweight. He's not a middleweight. Now he's going from welterweight and he's fighting for the middleweight world title. Fuck, how does that work? You know, back in the day, if you wanted to fight for a world title, let's say you're fighting for the WBC world title, you have to be rated by the WBCs in the top 10. How do you get rated? You fight someone who's in the top 10. Maybe you fight the number 6 guy. You beat him. Yeah, you take his place. You're number 6 now. He moves one back, or he moves out. Eventually, you get a voluntary defense that the champion picks you as an opponent, or you become number 1 or number 2 rated contender, and you have to fight a champion. That's how it used to work, guys. But now, Khan is coming from welterweight straight into the middleweight, and he's fighting for the world title. So I can't work it out, guys. Okay, so I think it should be a good fight. You know, it should be a good fight while it lasts, because I think if Canelo, if he connects clean on Khan, it's lights out, it's fight over. So that's my opinion, guys. Let me know what you think of this conversation we had tonight, and I look forward to meeting you again. Until our next time, guys. Cheers.